One of the latest videos on our channel talked about the biggest secret in the Bible, which very few people and even professional researchers for some reason do not pay attention to. Let me briefly remind you what we are talking about. The basic concept of the universe that most people know is that there is only God, angels, demons, and humans. However, the Bible itself does not quite support this. It turns out that God has a whole council of other gods who work under his direction. Here is Psalm 82, verse 1. God stood in the midst of the congregation of the gods, and in the midst of the gods he pronounced judgment. Gods? Plural? Yes, the Bible clearly and frankly states this. The Hebrew word used here is Elohim, which is usually translated as God, but in this case it is in the plural. This verse literally says that God stands among the other gods and judges them. And that's not all. Psalm 96:7 says, "For who in the heavens can be compared to the Lord? Who among the sons of God can be like the Lord?" This is talking about heavenly beings, sons of God, not humans. It explicitly says that these are divine beings under God's rule, but still part of his heavenly ruling class. And it turns out that information about this divine council is not limited to the Bible. Many ancient myths from around the world contain interesting information about some kind of divine council. Most of these divine groups consist of 9 deities. Stories of emperors, kings, and pharaohs consulting with a pantheon of 9 gods can be found in almost every culture around the world. For example, the 9 gods of ancient Egypt, the Ennead. The Ennead were the 9 great gods of Osirian: Adam, Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Oryx, Osiris, Isis, Seth, and Nephthys. The term is also used to describe the Great Council of the Gods and is also a collective term for all the gods of ancient Egypt. And the next example is the 9 emperor gods of China. The 9 heavenly rulers are believed by Taoists to be the primordial gods of China and the descendants of the supreme god of creation. According to legend, the 9 gods came from the 9 stars. And the festival of the 9 emperor gods is a 9-day Taoist celebration beginning on the eve of the 9th lunar month of the Chinese calendar. The myth of the 9 emperor gods is embodied in a number of rituals, the meaning of which is reflected in the symbolic images of the gods. Thus, myth, ritual, and symbol are ideologically interconnected to form a structural basis for the interaction of yin-yang forces at the different levels of cosmic representations represented in the festival. The festival provides a place for the annual renewal of the cosmic force, so that human life can be rejuvenated and human conflicts can end. And where would we be without Greek mythology? It involves Zeus and his Council of 9. Again, 9. In Greek mythology, when Prometheus gave fire to humanity, he angered Zeus. So to punish Prometheus, Zeus had him chained to a rock and had his liver regularly pecked out by a huge eagle. Since Prometheus was immortal, the liver grew back and the eagle returned to continue its endless occupation. To punish humanity, Zeus and 8 other deities gathered to form the Council of 9. The members of the council were Aphrodite, Apollo, Athena, Demeter, Hephaestus, Hera, Hermes, Poseidon, and Zeus himself. Besides the Council of 9, there were also 9 muses in Greek mythology, who were also deities who gave artists, philosophers, and people the inspiration they needed to create. Hesiod shows that in Greek they were called muses or mice, since the Greek word Moses refers to desire. The word museum also comes from the Greek muses. The 9 muses were named Clio, Euterpe, Thalia, Melpomene, Terpsichora, Erato, Polymnia, Urania, and Calliope. All ancient writers turned to the muses at the beginning of their work. Homer asks the muses in both the Iliad and the Odyssey to help him tell the story in the most correct way. And to this day, the muses are symbols of inspiration and artistic creativity. In painting, the muses are usually represented as unearthly women with divine beauty, holding laurels and other objects depending on their abilities. So, in this case, there is a direct similarity with the angels of the Bible. And is it just a coincidence that so many ancient cultures, separated by thousands of miles, worshipped a group of 9 gods? So it seems very likely that the divine counsel in the Bible and its interpretations in other cultures are one and the same.